So, as we all know by now, I have been doing these drawings on Twitch for my chat. And one of my long-time Patreons and supporters, Invader Zim, has asked me to draw Ahsoka Tano for the grid reference C1. Now, I absolutely adore Ahsoka Tano so much. And to have to draw her crying in this manner was absolutely heartbreaking. So I, of course, had to use her Siege of Mandalore outfit because it just made sense. There is no other point where Ahsoka would willingly break down and cry in front of anyone else, or at least in my mind. Call it a headcanon, call it a theory, but that's what I believe. So that's why we're going to have Ahsoka Tano, slightly older, end of the Clone Wars, drawing done for you right now. I hope you enjoyed this one, Invader Zim. I absolutely adored drawing this one, even though these little Twitch sketches are only supposed to take about a maximum of half an hour. She took closer to an hour. I think it's because Ahsoka is so detailed that before you even get the shadows kind of going on her skin tone and her montrals and her costume, you have to put so much detail in. And that's even if you're doing just what everyone considers a basic drawing. She's not really a basic character. You can probably super simplify things, which I know I did in this drawing, but it still took such a super long amount of time to get this done. Now, I try my best to do little chats about the characters when I'm doing these drawings for YouTube, or doing these videos for YouTube, I should say. And Ahsoka is one of those really special characters for me. I know everyone found her really annoying by doing the whole Sky Guy thing in the original film that she was first introduced in, and I have to admit I did not get onto the Star Wars hype. If anyone wants to know about why I wasn't on for the Clone Wars or Star Wars as a whole, there's a whole rant in another video somewhere. I'm not even going to link it, just go find it. I'm pretty sure I've said it in several of my videos that I used to seriously dislike Star Wars, and it's only because of the Clone Wars and particularly Ahsoka Tano that I got back into Star Wars. So this character means an absolute boatload to me. Even from that small, irritating little child that just wanted to fit in and tried to fit in all the wrong ways, I saw myself as that young girl who she had so much to achieve. I was a high achiever at a very young age, and to be like, I finished school a year early, so I was 15 and I was just hitting the edge of 16 at the end of my first year of college. So I was on the young age when I got to college and that kind of thing. I never went to university in the end, but that's not the point. So again, it kind of reflects Ahsoka in my journey, because I was pushed to do something early, which doesn't normally happen for most people, and I grew very well, and I flourished under my mentors and my friends and my family, and I was very happy. But of course, when it came to the uni stage of things went wrong, and we're not going to go into that, but that's why I associate with Ahsoka. Ahsoka is such a wonderful character, and she means so much to so many people. There is something, however, that I do feel I need to raise, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh gosh, the LGBTQ+ community is attacking again. Yes, I am, and I've got to say something. Now, I am a bisexual woman. I have had relationships with women, and I have had relationships with men, which is, of course, the way bisexuality works. Now, a lot of people say Ahsoka Tano is a lesbian icon because of the book that came out. Now, I have yet to read that book, and there is a reason behind that. I want to read the book. In fact, I want to listen to the audiobook because it's read by Ashley Eccleston, and Ashley is an amazing voice actress for Ahsoka Tano and has lent so much to the character. I'm pretty sure that if Ashley Eccleston did not voice Ahsoka, she would not have been quite as popular as she is now. That woman is amazing. But anyway, in the book, she has essentially a feminine love interest. And everyone says because of that she is a lesbian icon, forgetting that she also has a male love interest in Lux Bonteri, which again is canon within the Clone Wars. Now, you may not like the character of Lux Bonteri, I understand that. He's not a particularly great character, he's quite bland. But that's not the point. You don't get to rewrite canon to suit your headcanons. I mean, you can do, but you don't get to force that down anyone else's throat. The canon is that she has both a masculine and a feminine love interest throughout her life. Therefore, she is a bisexual character. That means that to erase that part of her is erasing her bisexuality, which, even though she doesn't feed into it because Jedi, is something that is a part of her, and a part of her that needs to be addressed and maintained. Just because you want her to be a more feminine-leaning romance partner does not mean that she does not have interest in masculine partners. I'm really sorry there for those of you who want to do that. Sorry, she is interested in both. She swings for both teams, like myself. I get really annoyed, and I know it sounds really like I have an agenda, but when a character is changed to suit any narrative, it pisses me off. If they are a gay character or a asexual character who is then given a preference that is not to do with their character, I get annoyed, because that is, you may want that to happen, but it won't, because that would defy the abject of the character and is therefore pointless. So don't do it. I know you may not want to have this pressed into your face, but don't do it. Don't do it. Another thing that annoys me about Ahsoka as well, I'm sorry, just to go on another rant. She is a Jedi by the time of the Mandalorians. The amount of people that say along the lines of, she's not a Jedi, she can't be a Jedi. During Rebels, she is not a Jedi. At all. She has no reason to be considered a Jedi. Now, I will agree, as I've just very much said, that during the stage, very shortly after the Clone Wars, and very shortly until very shortly again, sorry saying that a lot, after Rebels, she is not a Jedi. In her own words, I am no Jedi. However, when the creator of the character says that during Mandalorian, she is a Jedi, in fact, in the first episode of The Mandalorian that she appears, her enemies call her a Jedi. She doesn't correct them. She states, I am a Jedi. Well, she doesn't actually state it. She kind of, like, by not refuting that, she is saying, I am a Jedi, here I am. Now, so many people get annoyed by this, and I don't quite understand where the anxiety and annoyance comes from. And that a lot of the arguments behind this say that she can't be a Jedi because no one promoted her to Jedi. In this regard, if no one can promote you into a Jedi and you are not living the way of a religious order without needing someone to go, here you go, you're a Jedi, and put a little badge on your poncho or whatever you happen to be wearing, then by that very same respect, Luke is not a Jedi. Rey is not a Jedi. Now, again, loads of people will say Rey's not a Jedi anyway, but that's not the point. Luke created a new Jedi temple. He could not have done that if he was not a Jedi. And I watch the Star Wars films quite religiously as a way of, like, winding down to go to sleep. I'm weird, I know that, let me have this. But I've watched them enough that at no point does Obi-Wan nor Yoda state that Luke is a Jedi Knight. He never goes through the trials. He never has anyone bestow upon him the title. Therefore, by your own arguments, if Ahsoka is no longer a Jedi during The Mandalorian, I knocked my table, apologies, I am gesticulating wildly, then by that same effect, Luke is not a Jedi. If you come up with arguments along the lines of the Force chooses the Jedi, Ahsoka is now the embodiment of the light side of the Force. We know this due to Morai, who is the equivalent of the daughter, who follows Ahsoka around, and the daughter gave the last of her life force into Ahsoka to allow her to live. If that is not a fucking Jedi, then Luke stands no motherfucking chance, and everybody on the planet who's like, Luke is amazing, needs to remember that. She's a Jedi. Dave Filoni says that by the point in Mandalorian, she is a Jedi. I don't, she is a Jedi. I have always believed that if you hold to the tenets of a faith or a religion, you don't need to be baptized into that religion. Unless it's a closed religion, obviously. The Jedi is not a closed religion. Do you know how I know that it's not a closed religion? They went around picking up children as young as 3 and brought them back to their creches, where they then raised them as a religion. If it was a closed religion, no one would be able to do that. It wouldn't matter if you had attachment to the Force, they just wouldn't do that. So therefore, the Jedi and their equivalent of the religion of the Force is open. So if you want to claim that you're a Jedi and you have Force abilities and you follow the tenets of the law of the Jedi, then you are a Jedi. It's the same way that Sith can be Sith without actually, meeting up and all that kind of thing. Because there are other, again, holding up the wonderful, vaunted EU, which is original Legends, now called Legends, I believe. There are several Sith around at several different points that all conflict along the rule of 2. So if you're going to support that but not support the fact that Ahsoka is a Jedi later in life as she goes towards the decline into, steady death or whatever you want to say, then well, more for you. You are cutting yourself out from so many things. I mean, I saw a recent interview where Dave Filoni says that Ahsoka is one of the better Jedi out there because she has been taught the compassion that was required. Because that's something that I've always been at odds with the Jedi Order. They teach that you must love, but you can't have attachment, and then don't teach people how to deal with that. Their way of teaching people how to deal, and again, this is Yoda. I do not like Yoda as a character. This is how Yoda gets a 6-month-old Mace Windu to deal with attachments. Let that sink in. He was 6 months old. He took the toy from Mace Windu that his mother had given him and held it within the Force, just out of reach, and forced Mace Windu to grab it with his Force powers and pull, but refused to relinquish his own hold over it. He then shattered the toy using Mace's own hold on it to try and teach him how to break attachments. This is a 900-year-old elder teaching trauma to children. That is corrupt. I know everyone vaults the Jedi. I will say the Jedi as a whole had a good outlook. They wanted to do good, but they had become corrupt. I will live by that they wanted to be good, and some of them were amazing. Plo Koon was amazing. And Obi-Wan slips and fell sometimes, but he was still genuinely good. Yoda was an asshole. Ki-Adi-Mundi was a sociopath. Luminara was a sociopath. Mace Windu needed therapy. They all did horrendous things to people in the name of good. And they didn't care that by doing that, they were actually becoming the villains of the story. I know people hate Ahsoka's arc in Season 7 of Clone Wars because she has Trace and Rafa, but Trace and Rafa are the exact things that we need to see. The people were getting sick of the Jedi because the Jedi were just being out of touch with society. Luminara crashed a ship into what she thought was an unoccupied building, caused the death of people, and then let 2 children go and fend for themselves. The Jedi of the High Republic would not have allowed that to happen. If anyone died, they would ensure that the children were taken care of, not released into the Coruscant underworld where they could starve, scrimp, and have no support. The Jedi were broken, and Ahsoka reflects that. She leaves the Jedi Order, sees what is becoming of the world, and then returns to the Jedi Order, where she is a reflection of what they should be and no longer are. The sad thing is, none of them have a chance to act on that new knowledge, because very shortly after she discovers this and returns, the Galactic Republic falls and she is left alone. And Ahsoka is amazing and I went on a very long rant about this, so I apologize for that, but you know, she's such a detailed character. There's so much more I could say about Ahsoka Tano, and I absolutely adore this woman on so many levels. She's great, she's amazing. I love Ashley Eccleston. I hope one day to have the good fortune to be able to meet her and say thank you and all that kind of thing, but it's probably not going to happen for a very, very long time. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this and my random rant. If you did, please do like, comment, share and subscribe. Even if you didn't like it, please let me know in comments down below why you didn't like it, but please remain constructive. I will not accept toxic dickheads for any reason. This is my space, go find your own to be a dick. However, if you are coming with constructive criticism and would like to have an open, friendly discussion about Star Wars, I am always open to that. So thank you so much again for watching. Take care, have fun, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.